Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Wednesday. Welcome back to another live stream here at DSLR Video Shooter. We have already got a couple people in the chat, including the Crawley crew, the Mad Kazi, Mark of Thy Beast, Doug, Tippets, Mesh, Memsh, Jordan, Will, and others. How's everybody doing this evening? Let's go ahead and turn this music down a little bit, shall we? Okay. Nice. Crowley says, finally made it again. Always learn so much from you. Thank you. How you doing, man? I know we've chatted a little bit offline, or online off YouTube. Let me pop out the chat here. Blow it up a little bit. Okay. Okay. People showing up. How's everybody doing here? I noticed today was supposed to be, let me take these headphones here off. Let me know if everything's sounding okay. I know today was supposed to be the DJI, what was it? The DJI something reveal, and then they put it off. So that's interesting. Wonder, well, I think we know kind of what it's going to be. It's going to be like the Mavic Pro Mark II or another new drone from them, which could be pretty interesting. Any progress on DaVinci Resolve, Caleb, from Doug? No, I really haven't been doing anything outside of Final Cut. Just not a lot of time, unfortunately. I don't think I've said anywhere else, but someone will be joining me to help me out with some stuff here in the studio this fall. So hopefully that'll free me up to be able to play with some things like Resolve. Yeah, so why don't we just dive in with some questions or topics? Just drop them on in there and we'll go ahead and jump on it. Will says, can you do another $100 lighting kit? I suppose I could. I'm pretty happy with the one that we recently did. I feel like for $100, that's pretty much the best you're going to get when it comes to output and color quality. If you could spend, you know, you could get smaller lights for that, but to get a nice setup where you can actually light without using natural light, that's probably your best bet. Is this the new intro? No, this is the old intro. I haven't updated the one for the stream yet. Literally forgot it was Wednesday until the notification. Nice, Jordan. That's good. We're building a rhythm, getting things settled in for the live streams. I need to start scheduling them earlier so people can, you know, make sure that's happening. Like this one, I think I scheduled like 20 minutes before we went live. Germ Earn, hey Caleb, trying to build a cheap alternative to your favorite camera setup with a G85. Any idea what cage would fit the camera and the battery grip? That's a good question. We can jump over there. I'm really digging what Small Rig has been up to. Let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Gonna go in here and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move something real quick so that it's more easily, okay. So, for cages, smallrig.com, I believe. Okay, here we are. I know they have a G85 cage. I doubt they have one for the grip. There is a grip for the G85, isn't there? Yeah, I think so. G85 cage. I have their normal G85 cage. So it looks like they don't have one for the grip. At least I'm not seeing it. So if you really wanted to do the whole grip thing, like I showed in that video, you would need to go to cages. I think they have kind of like a universal cage that would work. Something like this. Yeah. So this is their half cage. Something like this would do the trick. It's not going to be, you know, perfectly form-fitting like the one for the GH5 that houses the grip, but if you get one of these with a longer rod here, I think they sell them with longer rods, that would do the trick. It would give you the same functionality. The rods on the side that you can see, will this help? No, that won't. That has cheese, you know, it's a cheese rod, so you can mount stuff to it. That would work just fine. So yeah, love the intro. First time live here. Welcome, Dan Norton. How you doing? All right, let's go ahead and go back to normal camera mode. Whoops. Boop. Just like that. Bam. Okay. Back to the chat. This is great, and I can listen while I sort through footage at work. Awesome. Yeah, I've thought about doing a podcast and doing the live stream as a podcast. Obviously, I would have more specific topics, and it wouldn't be just me reading the chat or having guests on. So, playing with that idea. Greetings from Colorado. Did the last live stream ever go up after the actual live version? It sort of did. Last week we looked at each other's videos, and that was kind of a poop show a little bit with trying to manage all of that. I really wasn't in the chat too much because we were watching videos, and then I guess a bunch of people had had copyrighted stuff music-wise, so I decided to put it down or take it down. Let's see. Norway, awesome. Welcome, Burnt. Purchased my lights on your recommendation from Miranda. Nice. Which lights did you get? I'm curious. What's up from Lincoln Park, Pacific Films? Lincoln Park's fun. I tried to film in the, they're like, what is it? It's like a greenhouse, or, yeah. And I was filming there in the winter, and so I went inside, and all my camera gear like instantly like frosted up, or fogged up because of all the humidity. So I never actually got to film in there. Oh my goodness, I gotta catch up here. Lots going on. It is a great day, Tippets. What's the discussion? It can be anything you want, James. Nothing for today. Nothing scheduled in particular. I was traveling this week, so or last week and through this weekend, so I really didn't have time to put too much together. So that's what's up. I was just watching one of your videos on YouTube. YouTube told me you were live. Yes. And for those who haven't, I know people say it all the time. You're probably sick of hearing it, but hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification, because apparently people aren't actually even getting notified or seeing videos in their feed. So that's always nice. If you want to see this stuff and you're subscribed, you'll need to hit the bell notification, which is kind of silly, but you know, that's what YouTube's into these days. First time watching live from Noland. So yeah, a lot of new live people today. It's great. It's great. Sounds good. Nice. What are your thoughts on the Ronin S focus wheel? I haven't used the Ronin S, but I know those who have. I would check out Atola Visuals. She did a review on it recently. Also, Dave over at Kinotika. So they have a lot more information on that. Super 8 is dope. Please explain how to do the battery mod and the DJ lights from last week. Yeah, so those lights that I did a video on, they were like 15 bucks, RGB, lots of fun. What I did for the battery is that it's super easy to open those lights up. There's just like 4 screws. And if you open it up, essentially AC power comes in and goes into a circuit board. And that circuit board outputs 12 volts, I believe. Yes. So what I did is I took like a plate for a Sony MPF battery, and I soldered that and glued it to the back of the light. And those 2 wires, positive and negative, went to a little booster to boost the 7.4 volts from all these camera batteries to 12 volts. And then that went to the rest of the light. So it's pretty simple mod if you're comfortable with electronics. It's simple DC electronics. I've noticed you no longer upload twice a week. Are you working on something, camera guides or just family life? Yeah, so I'm working on a guide for the A7 III, and that camera is a beast. There's a lot of stuff to figure out with that. So that, and I was a little bit crispy burnt out after doing 2 videos a week for a while. So I decided to go ahead and just go to 1 a week. And that did 2 things for me. It gave me a little more time to work on better videos every week and also work on this guide. So I'd like to go back to 2 a week, and maybe that'll happen. I'd love to someday do way more videos per week. But for now, 1 a week, 1 good video a week, I think, and also work on some side stuff. Not saying I'll never upload twice, a week. I might be able to get some more stuff out, so we'll see. When do you think iMovie is not effective enough and you need to upgrade to Final Cut Pro 10 or Premiere? I would say if you're starting to do more complex edits and you're really getting into, color grading, things where you need some more professional tools. Otherwise, if you're just cutting iMovie is going to do fine. So if you're just setting a camera up, filming yourself, little tweaks and editing, that ought to take care of you. Is your garage flood configuration done? Post-flood configuration. It's still a mess back there. I'm doing a ton of changes to the whole studio. So yeah, we're still working on some stuff. I do have drainage work done around the house, which is nice. What wide angle do you use for the Sony a7 III? So get this. The Sony 10 to 18 millimeter lens, which is not designed for full frame, actually works in full frame mode. So it won't work at 10 millimeters. There will be a little bit of a vignette, but if you just bump into 12 millimeters, golden. It's amazing. So I was going to do a video on that to get that information out there. It works great. What's your favorite rig for overhead shooting? It's a great question. The best or simplest best way is to use a C-stand. I think everyone should own a C-stand if you can, you know, eventually afford to buy it. I know there's all this other stuff that's probably higher up on your list, but C-stands are amazing. I'm using one right now to light me here. And so you just set up an arm, mount the camera to the arm, and that's a great way to do overheads. Otherwise, if you have a ceiling where you can mount stuff to it, like I do down here, you can use what's called a baby plate, and it's essentially a giant, or a C-stand, or not a C-stand. They call it a junior or a baby pin coming off of a plate. So you screw it to the ceiling, and now you have essentially a light stand upside down that you can mount stuff to. That works great as well. Good external monitor for cameras with without a tilty screen. Small HD question mark? Yes, small HD focus is good. I don't think I have it here at my desk anymore, but the VL35 is another great little monitor, 3.5 inches. Love it. Or your phone using Wi-Fi. Excuse me. What's up, Furworks? How's it going, man? We got one of our lots of sponsors in here, actually. Furworks, Shane, Alex, and others. I'll get down to you guys here in a second. I see Shane is rocking the custom emojis. And for those who don't know, there's a sponsor button down below. Essentially, you get cool little tags like these guys have here. And then we do an exclusive live stream after all of these public live streams. Got the small rig for the EOS M50. It's amazing. Yeah, and Canevate, not small rig, but Canevate just came out with a cage for the EOS M, the original EOS M, because of the video that we did a while ago. So one of the more popular videos on the channel was a cheap, I think I titled it like $250 cinema camera setup. And they actually made a cage so that people don't have to mod them like I was talking about. It's good stuff. Cheap wide angle lens, depending, let me know what your budget there is, Will, and I'll give you a more specific information there. GD5 has NATO rails on both sides. Yeah, the cage is great from them. Highly enjoyed the last video. Awesome, thanks, Shane. Should I buy a cheap adapter and keep my Canon tele lens and sacrifice easy aperture control, or replace that too? If you're switching from a T3i to G7, I would just buy an adapter that has electronics. They're pretty cheap these days. I want to say like 30 bucks would get you one, maybe up to 50. And that's what I would go for. Alrighty. Your G5 guide was really helpful. What's the difference between setting the camera white balance and white card versus gray card? You can really use anything. I would just do lots of testing. I'm also noticing my hat's always crooked. I don't know how that happens. But do lots of testing, because some settings and some gray cards and some white cards just get weird on you. So I would definitely test that. For the most part, I stick with a Kelvin setting. I feel like that's the safest. What are your thoughts on the Ronin S focus wheel? Really haven't tried it, so I couldn't tell you. Oh my goodness, we got a bunch of donations to address down here. What GPU do you recommend for 10-bit display support for grading? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I haven't used that many different GPUs. I'm on a Hackintosh, so I'm using a 1070. But I don't have a 10-bit display. So that's a great question that I can't answer. Hi from Moscow. Welcome, Oleg. Oleg. I'm so bad with names. What settings, shutter, ISO, etc. do you use for your $100 light kit? I think I put them in the video, but I want to say it was like ISO 800, which is way overkill, but I was shooting S-Log, so that's why it was like that. Shutter speed was 1/50th, and aperture was 2.8 or something maybe. Can't quite recall. I should have written that down though. Just switched from Canon to Sony. Any advice on getting better color from Sony cameras? Not yet, but I'm in the middle of doing a ton of testing, and I think I'm potentially finding some stuff. So stay tuned on the channel for more information on that. Where should I get started for shallow depth of field with vintage glass on the GH4? Is the Helios 44 gonna be shallow enough? That's gonna be shallower, but it's not gonna be tons of shallow depth of field. For micro four thirds, you want to be looking at f1.8 or faster. So looking at like a 50 millimeter 1.8, something like that would get you started. 1.4, that'd be a great place to go. I have the Rode NTG2 and Zoom 6. I keep my gain knob at 4 to 6, but I'm still getting ugly noise even in an acoustic room. Do you have any tips, or am I doing something wrong? From Rafik. It could be the gear. I haven't used that combination. You might want to try borrowing or renting a more sensitive microphone, like you know, something from Sennheiser or the Rode NTG3, NTG4. See if that helps. I know certain Zoom recorders and certain microphones from Rode don't play nice together. Otherwise, putting a preamp in between your microphone and your recorder is a great idea. So check out the Beach-Tech Micro DXA Micro Pro or something. That is like 150 bucks, and it would potentially, the preamps are going to be better. Let's see here. Going down. Hi, you miss me so much. What lights am I using right now? I'm using the same light I always use, which is the Falcon Eyes 12T. I want to say it's around 150 bucks, 200 bucks. Gotta stay hydrated. It's a fantastic light. I love it. It's perfect for stuff like this. Came TV terrapin rig would be better. Okay. Have you ever talked about, or will you talk about, quasar science lights? Potentially. I keep like putting them in my cart and then not buying them. So I need to I need to commit and figure out a good place to use them here in the studio. Why didn't I see your vids? What the hell? That's strange. Not sure what you're talking about, but they're there. What's up, Caleb? I've been bouncing back and forth between the A7 III and the GH5S, currently shooting with the GH5. Seems like the GH5S is going to win out. You know what? Those cameras both make me sad because each of their pros fixes the cons. It's really unfortunate that one's great at color, best pixel quality. The other one has a bigger sensor, epic autofocus. So it's a tough call. It really is tough. Can't wait. Stoked to catch the stream live. What's up, Dan's? I'm going to jump down here because we got Daniel Moore Photography sponsor. Hey, Caleb, missed the start of this. Need to sort out my notifications. Great video on the GH5S that you did recently. Thank you, Daniel. Welcome. And then we got a donation from James Parrish. James says, we want merch with our face on it. With our face on it. Okay. Well, thank you for the donation, man. And, yeah, I need to figure out the merch thing. I think I have too many options. I need to slim that down a little bit. Are you excited for the new Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera 4K? Yes, I am. Looking forward to when that shows up. It's going to be fun. Good morning here. It's 2:54 a.m. Whew, that's early. What camera are you streaming with? Right now I'm using the Panasonic G7. It's just a great camera. Perfect for stuff like this. Clean HDMI out, all that good stuff. And then we got another donation from Germ Earn, $5. He says, or she says, just saying thanks for asking my question. Appreciate all you do. Thank you. Thank you. You're all too kind. And we have a new sponsor, Zero Sether. Welcome, sir, or ma'am. Welcome to the club. what would you recommend for a high-key lighting setup? So a video I've been wanting to do is how to shoot clean videos, just really nice clean videos. Like right now, this is probably way too dramatic for a lot of people. You know, shadows and things, very dark, all that kind of stuff. If you just want a really high key, great for corporate, great for beauty, you essentially do almost exactly what I'm doing right now with a couple tweaks. Right now I have a light just above the camera. So camera, light is just above it. And that's giving me this nice flattering, you know, nice shadows on my jawbone. This is gonna look really gross, but just bear with me. All of this stuff, all that under chin bagginess, lighting setup like this kills that. Because if you see the shadow, because the light's high, so it's hitting my face, creating a shadow down here, which sharpens this line and kind of hides all that under, you know, your chin stuff if you're slightly a little fluffier like I am now. So this is a great setup for that. And then all you do is bring in something huge and white on either side. So I can just use my hands, I think, kind of. Yeah, like this. See the difference there? It's subtle because I'm using my hands. But if you have a big, like 4 foot by 4 foot sheet, you could use white sheets. You could use foam board from Lowe's or Home Depot, and just put 2 of those, bring them just out of frame, and that's going to give you this really bright look. So a light above the camera, bigger is better, and then white on either side. Bam! You've got this beautiful high key, nice flattering light. If you want a little bit of shadow, just take one of those boards and just back it up a little bit, you know, so it's not as close. And there you go. Furworks, what is going on, man? $5 donation. This guy's been a trooper. What are you working on with Dave from Kinotika, or was it just hanging out? Anything you can share or still secret? So we were just mainly hanging out. I was down in his neck of the woods, and so we had lunch. Wonderful guy. Definitely should go subscribe to him over at Kinotika and his main channel. He has his own personal channel, so definitely check those out. Dave Alteaser. Dave Alteaser. I always want to say Altier because I play Assassin's Creed. But yeah, great dude. Great dude. Also check out his video that's blowing up on the Ronin S. Boom. Are you a fan of Aperture F7s? Or know you're a fan of Aperture F7s? Do you think 2 of them was enough for to fill a typical living room? It has enough output to do that. The light quality might not look as good because it's a small source. So having really small lights and pushing, you know, lighting larger spaces will look kind of shadowy and nasty, but it will do it. It's a super bright light. It's insane. Really, really bright. So yeah, it should work. G9 or A7 II for video photo. For photos, I would prefer a larger sensor. I never like Panasonic stuff for photos, but that's just me. How do you feel about Panasonic G85 as a budget-friendly 4K camera? Any overheating issues? I've had 0 overheating issues at all with the G85. I think it's phenomenal. The G7 is cheaper, but if you want a little bit of stabilization, a little more love there, then you definitely want to check out the G85. Hi, you're my favorite channel, so by far. Question: my G5 sensor got burned by a laser. Oh no! Any advice in Panasonic factories? Any advice on Panasonic factory service? No warranty. Ooh! First of all, I'm sorry. That really blows. None of us want lasers damaging our sensors. Which camera? GH5? That's probably going to have to be a complete overhaul. I have a hard time believing replacing the sensor would be cheaper, but you can at least try contacting them. It might be worth like $70 to have it sent in to look at. But yeah, definitely at least contact them and see what that would look like. I'm really sorry though, that sucks big time. Rainer says, long live 1080p, buying yesterday's technology so I can intelligently purchase gear tomorrow. That's that's great from Rainer. Good day, DSLR video shooter. Need help with the EOS Rebel SL2. What's the difference between the two? Between the SL2 and 200D? I don't really know. I haven't really dealt with a lot of those DSLRs in a while. I would imagine they're very similar for video. For photos, there might be some differences, but usually all that stuff kind of is about the same. Daniel Moore Photography, do you have a couple recommendations for a reasonably priced variable ND? Shot some video, couple wedding this weekend in Cine 4 and had to shoot at f/16. Yeah, that's no fun. I would check out, is it Fotga? Fotga, I believe. That's a great brand, really cheap, but it's probably the best cheap, good quality. I have a couple of them. They're cheap enough where you can buy like little random sizes for certain lenses. So check them out. See, sand is on sale for $100. Thank you very much, Alex. Just noticed today that Small Rig has a 50% off of their Sony. Yeah, so Sony A7 III battery grip cage is on sale. So yeah, that's going to be definitely happening over here too, because, man, big fan of that battery grip love. CSGO videos, DSLR video shooter. If you could choose between the Adamas Shogun Inferno and the Ninja 5, which would you choose? Woo, that's a tough one. Ninja 5 if I'm just dealing with HDMI. Inferno if I'm going to be working with SDI. At least right now, the Inferno is the only way to make SDI stuff happen and RAW and everything work. New Blackmagic, yes, can't wait for that to hopefully happen before or on time in September, I believe, right? Yo, my main focus is video. Do you think the GH5 is an upgrade to the A7S II? I would definitely rent it and see if Micro Four Thirds is going to work for you before you pull the trigger. Furworks, talking about never seeing overheating on the G85. What are your thoughts on problems with the i9 processor in the new MacBook Pros? Apparently, they start to throttle hard when under load. I don't have an opinion. I haven't really looked at those at all. I have a bunch of videos in my watch list here on YouTube to research that, and I'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts are, because I'm going to be buying 2 Apple machines before long. So the question is, do I buy 2 iMacs, okay, just like 5K 2017 iMacs, pretty much fully loaded, or do I buy an iMac for the office and then for an assistant? And that's why I'm doing 2 machines here, not because I'm in need 2 iMacs. 1 iMac, and then do I get a MacBook Pro and use it docked? I don't know. Traditionally, I prefer a desktop. I found personally that if I'm having to edit on the road, I hate myself. So I try to just make sure I can always edit here if at all possible. And I don't really take laptops on the road much. But if it's gonna get pretty close to iMac level performance, I might consider using a laptop. So yeah, going back up here because I lost my spot. Do filters affect the video if you use 72 and yeah, so you can use essentially can use a 72mm filter on a 52mm. Absolutely, there's going to be no issues with that. Our DIY videos coming soon. One is coming next week. It's not going to be making something. It's going to be a technique that you can do with nothing. A really cool camera technique without anything special. Really excited for that. Next Tuesday. 60mm Sigma 1.4 wide angle, question mark? Probably. Maybe not full frame though. I don't think that works for full frame. The camera I'm using for streaming is the G7. Let's see here. Shane, I would be curious to see what your thoughts are for good brands of ND filters. Recently lost an airport. I want to get better ones, get rid of the cheap, nasty color shift. So those Fotgas are pretty darn good for the money. Otherwise, I think it's kind of all over the place. I have a really nice Tiffin one that I like, but I haven't tested them in a while. I know Genesis Tech made a good one before, so yeah. The mic I'm using right now is the Aperture Deity. now they've updated it to the Deity S something D2 or something. So the company is split off. Does anyone? Yep, we talked about that. Opinion on the GH5 firmware update? Still haven't done it yet. I completely still haven't done that yet, so I'll have to get back to you guys on that. I'm sure it's great though. All right, I'm gonna jump down a little bit because I'm behind. I apologize. Levi, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Over there with your running with Casey Neistat. Well done, sir. What do you think about the SLR Magic lenses? I don't think their lenses are maybe the best in the world. I think their anamorphic adapters are great. Do you think the GH5 is an upgrade to the A7? We talked about that. All right, going down a little bit here, down a little bit here. We got another donation from the Crawley crew, $2. And he says, when will you do the keep your mic close t-shirt? Ah, yes. I sort of started working on it, and it's kind of a tricky one to do, to find a microphone that's royalty free, an image, or to make one. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll just like make like a fist holding a shotgun microphone. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. Have you got the Zeiss 5518? Debating between the 85 or the Zeiss. Great question. I just ordered the 85, so I can get back to you later as to which one I prefer. Love that 5518 though. So good. Furworks is dropping the nukes. Good stuff. Going down a little bit, going down a little bit. Trying to catch up because I'm quite behind. I apologize. What's your favorite movie, favorite TV show to binge? Too many gear questions from David. Great question. There's too many great movies. I don't know if I could pick one. For shows, I love and loved Breaking Bad, Office, of course, Modern Family. I'm a Walking Dead fan. I love that show. What else? Those I say are some of the tops for sure. And really enjoying Chef's Table right now on Netflix. Some of the episodes are kind of meh, but the camera work and the editing is phenomenal. So definitely check out Chef's Table on Netflix. What do you guys like to watch? I'm curious. How do you set up a DSLR into OBS? You need some kind of capture card. USB 3 is probably your best bet. Microphones, the Deity shotgun microphone and the pop filter I need to find, but it's somewhere on the internet. Any suggestions for filming an interview? Funny you should ask that. Might be working with someone on creating some content for such topics. So yeah, interviews. Lots of suggestions. This is kind of a loaded question, but we'll cover more content on that in the future. I'm a beginner starting my own work, learning the basics at school. I am also learning extra stuff online. Do you recommend investing in the GH5S or start with a $500 camera? Excuse me. That's a great question. I would say get what you can afford. If it's going to put you back into debt or put you into debt to buy the GH5S, I would just buy a $500 camera. If you're just getting started, you could do a lot of damage with the G7 like I'm using right now. And then down the road, go for the S. Love hearing about the business side of stuff. Not enough people talking about it. Great point, Dew Point Media. Yeah, there aren't that many people covering that stuff. And yeah, hoping to do more stuff like that in the future. And let me know if you guys want to see Corbin again. We could do another live stream. That could be a lot of fun because he's a lot of fun. And he's a wizard. With someone still crawling on a GH1, should I leap into a GH5 or move to a little more recent body? Anything would be an upgrade, right? So I mean, if you've been happy with the GH1 till now, you can get a GH2, a GH3, or a G7 would be a great upgrade without costing too much. You'd get 4K, and it's a great little camera. Yours is the only live stream I really try to make it for. Oh, thanks, man. That's very, very sweet of you to say, Crawley Crew. Good day, DSLR video shooter from Melbourne, Australia. Need help with the SL2. Oh, what's the difference? We talked about this. Unfortunately, I just don't know. So you're going to have to ask some Canon people. Are you still using the M50? Sorta. The review for that is coming up shortly. I just need to finish up a couple little things to finally get that out. New sponsor, welcome Corey. What's going on, Corey? Welcome to the sponsorship, or the sponsors club, the video shooter club. And for all you new sponsors, just keep in mind, after this live stream, there will be one just for you guys. So you'll want to check on a browser. You'll want to go to the DSLR Video Shooter channel and then click on the community tab. I will be posting a link for the exclusive live stream right after this one. Okay. Jello Shiz Nuts, what's going on, brother? Nuts. I lost my spot. Looks color graded. Okay, so someone asked, I lost it, but someone asked about the quality of this. Am I color grading this right now? No, I am not. I'm using the scenery profile on the G7, which for some reason looks good on live streams. And then for color, I'm just using a daylight balance light. And I have two aperture 20Ds lighting me from behind. And that's kind of giving me this blue look. So I'm mixing color temperatures to create a look. I'm not using any color grading. So that's what's up with that. Will you do videos that focus on smartphone stuff? Probably not. Maybe eventually. I'm pretty slow with phone upgrades. I used to be like bam, 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 7, you know, 6S, 7. But these days I'm like, I'm just going to save a little bit and keep an old phone. So I use an iPhone 7. But maybe someday I'll get more into that. Love the C cage setup on your GH5S. Need to build something like that for myself. Yeah, and the beauty is that setup is pretty universal, so you can kind of translate that to other cameras. If you could only choose one lens to go on the A7S, what would that lens be? Great interview with Ariel Martinez. Thank you. That was a lot of fun. You guys should check out their podcast, iFilmmaker. I was a guest on there. You can watch the stream of the interview and watch me chat with those guys on YouTube. Great couple of dudes. 1 second, let me take a swig. My throat and voice is kind of messed up today. Filmed a bunch earlier today. So yeah, favorite lens for full frame on Sony. Really, right now I'm really digging the 55-1.8 from Zeiss. But I'm curious to see what the 85's like. And I ordered the Tamron 28-75, but it's not here yet. I have no idea when they're going to start shipping that. Hopefully soon. So yeah. Looking forward to the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Sucks that we haven't seen anything. Yep, that is a little weird. Hopefully that doesn't mean it will be delayed. All right, I'm gonna jump down a little bit here. Does the GH5S have better image quality than the GH5? Check out the videos I've done on my channel. I can actually compare the two, and they're fairly different, so it'd be worth a watch. All right, people are saying the SL2 and 200D are exactly the same, so to whoever who is asking that, there you go. Rokinon cinema lenses, question mark. I think they're pretty decent for the money, albeit a little green. There you go. If you additionally light up a room that's already has lights, for example, shooting in a restaurant, the given light is kind of yellow. Would you use daylight anyway? I would try to match the lights. So usually what we do is back when I did freelance, we'd go into a space and we'd either match the lights or kill the house lights and do our own lighting. So that's kind of the two routes we would take. Yeah. And then try to figure out which would be easiest. So if all the lights are daylight in the space, don't try to turn them all to tungsten for your tungsten light, but just figure out how to easily match them. Sony a6300, a6500, brilliant for live streaming, USB powered natively, never time out. Oversampling in 4K makes the 1080p come out crispy. It's a great point. Same with the G7, 4K down to 1080. That's probably why I look a little sharper than if I was just using a DSLR that does 1080. Alexa or Red? I would be interested in trying Alexa, but I couldn't really tell you because I haven't shot on Alexa at all. So there you go. Why no filter on the mic? Why no filter? There's a filter on the mic. It's just hard to see. See? Little pop filter. So I go puh, 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 and it's fine instead of puh, puh, puh. I don't know if there's a difference at all. I didn't want to blow your guys' ears out. All right. Go down here a little bit. Oh my goodness. You guys and your donations. I need to catch up here. Yeah, let's jump down and address that. I apologize, guys. I can't read and speak fast enough. Or at least I'm taking my time. The Crawley Crew again. Another $2. Just big spender tonight. Would love a boom stand with a generic shotgun microphone. Would love a boom stand with a generic shotgun microphone. Like a video on it, or are you just saying that's what you're kind of going for? Let's see Corbin again. Sweet. Spelled his name wrong. I apologize. Oh, I see. For the t-shirt. Interesting. Okay. That would do it. That would work. That would work. Please, more on business management and the commercial side. Something about insurance. Good question. I actually just upgraded or switched out my insurance. So that'd be a good topic to cover. Maybe I can get an insurance expert on. That would be really interesting, wouldn't it? Please, right on. A7 III or GH5S with Metabones, really tough. You got to choose between big sensor, better low light, and great autofocus, or that's the A7 III, or smaller sensor, better pixel quality, and just way more push in post-production. So much easier to grade. GH5S. There you go. Does the AVIO 4K scale down the video for you and take the load off your CPU? No, the camera, well, it depends. You can set the camera to downscale it for you, or let the AVIO do that. The AVIO, I believe you can switch back and forth and customize those settings. Welcome, new sponsor, Everyday Dad. What's going on, Everyday Dad? Keep up the great work, man, and welcome to the sponsor, the Video Shooters Club. Good sir. Welcome aboard. All right, so people definitely want Corbin back. Okay, I was just chatting with him today. Maybe we'll set something up again. That was a lot of fun. Exclusive, you say? Dew Point Media, $3 donation. Nice. Yes, exclusive. Just sponsors after this show. Do you think Fujifilm can fix their X-H1 iBiz with an update, or is it hardware? I'm not smart enough to answer that. I would hope they could update it a little bit or tweak it a little bit. Man, I'd love for them to do a whole bunch of stuff on that camera, but we'll have to wait and see. Always kill the house lights. Yeah, that's a good question, or a good statement. These days, when you light in restaurants and things, often they're LED now. And LED can cause so many problems when it comes to consumer fixtures. A lot of LED bulbs you can buy for like your house are going to flicker on video. It sucks, but that's the way things stand right now. So yeah, probably these days better off killing them. Justin Reeves, what's going on, man? How you doing? Who do you think will be the first to manufacture a proper vlogging camera, selfie screen, great autofocus, mic input, 4K and or 120p, and in-body stabilization? If I had to take a gander, it's going to be Sony or Panasonic, but who knows? Who knows? I have a really hard time seeing Canon do that. But if you spend enough, whenever they eventually do mirrorless, that might be a thing. Hope Sigma really does something in the anamorphic realm. That would be interesting. I doubt they will, but that would be super cool if they did. What's up? This is Tech. How's it going, man? How do you overcome competition in the world if you want to be huge sports photography, videography? I couldn't tell you, man. I didn't do anything like that. Usually in the video business, you know, at least where I worked, it's usually not like really rough competition where it's like, okay, I win, that means you lose, or if you win, I lose. Usually it's, you know, you get involved and there's, you know, a community of people who usually support each other. But I haven't done anything with sports, so I couldn't tell you the best way to go about that. Just shoot, and meet as many people as possible. Collab with Fro Knows Photo. I would totally be down for that. I don't know what we'd collab on, but I'd be totally cool and open to that. What do you use as an external audio recorder? I use the Sound Devices Mix Pre 3, which surprisingly I haven't done a video on. When is the skin tone video coming out? I need to do that, don't I? I just need to get that done. Hopefully soon. Thanks for the great, gotta go take the trash and film vlog about ND filters. Crawley Crew. Nice. Okay, cool. Thanks for all the donations, dude. You're crazy. Crawley Crew. Boom. Hey from Brazil. Coming to say hello. Big fan. Big hug. Well, hug right back at you. Internet hug. Sounds slightly inappropriate. Does full frame give you better bokeh than APS-C? I saw a YouTube video explaining that they give the same. I'm confused. Yeah, I would just watch the F-Soppers video, and hopefully, you know, that's probably the one you're talking about. It's true. You know, sensors and focal lengths, people get really confused about that stuff, but it really doesn't quite affect that. Did you get my email from Bad Karma? Yes, sir. I believe I replied to it, didn't I? Oh, maybe not the most recent one. Let me check that after the stream. I haven't been in email since this morning. Is there a place you can rent online? I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. All right, I'm going to scroll down here. Shiznuts is back again with a £5 donation. So, Caleb, what is the meaning of life and the universe and everything? I believe it's 47, but I could be wrong. Anyone else want to back me up on that? Thanks for the donation, man. Appreciate you. I'm going to take a water break. Dude, throat's getting weird on me. Okay. GH5S or potential A7 III. Have you heard any credible rumors? I have not. I would follow Sony Rumors, I believe is what it's called, and they're going to have so much more information than I would. What made you start a YouTube channel? From Bad Karma. I had just started making a couple websites. I made lots of WordPress sites back when I was in high school and college. So I started getting into video. I had bought a 7D, Canon 7D, because I was too broke for a 5D when it first came out. And I decided to do some test videos. I put them on Vimeo. And back when Vimeo was cool, and there's actually a community there. Sad face. And people started asking questions, you know, oh, that's interesting. Why did you put that light there? Or what light is that? What tripod lens are you using? So I started doing more videos, and then I started a YouTube channel, and then a website, then YouTube channel. And then I just kept doing it, and it went from hobby to, wow, people are starting to watch this more, to full-time eventually. So yeah, it was just passionate about making videos, and people seemed like they had questions and could use help. And so even though I was a complete noob, I thought I'd at least try to help them out and also learn in the process. If you teach people things, it's a great way to learn yourself. Definitely is a great way to learn. So yeah, that's why I started the channel. I don't get views on my videos, although I use tags, good relevant title, good thumbnail. I had one video do 50K, then the next 800 views. Is that normal? What am I doing wrong? There's probably nothing you're doing wrong. What's tricky with YouTube is it's all over the place. Same with my channel. I'm constantly like, oh man, did I like mess this up? And did I do this? Did I do that? It's a combination of doing great content and YouTube's algorithm touching your head with their wand. That's kind of, you know, what's going on there. So it's a tough one. I would watch Daryl Eves, and what's the other one? Is it video? Not video creators. I can't remember. It might be video creators. But Daryl Eves is a great channel to help you kind of sort through that stuff. Good tips when you're just getting a channel started. So I would definitely watch those guys. What's up, Premier Reviewer? How you doing? Collab on gear insurance. Cool. 42. Did I say 43? Awesome. It's 42. Hello from Canada. What's up, Andre? Let's see. Same question as... do you know how to fix extremely noisy footage on the GH5S when shooting in VFR? So yeah, that's going to be addressed in my review, but essentially VFR sucks when you're shooting vlog. I would try shooting in different picture profiles. It still might be an issue though. A lot of the people are finding if you go over 60, it gets messy, and Panasonic better address that, because that's not cool at all. Let's see. Filming a commercial in the UK used to be online. What frame rate should I go for? To be used online. I mean, I like 24, but I would check with if there's going to be other distribution for this video. You might need to do 25 just to kind of, you know, do the UK thing. Best solution for capturing audio on an interview if you're a one-man band. Backups. Find a way to get that microphone feed into 2 different recorders and go with that. Maybe set one at a higher level than the other. That would be smart. I'm so far behind. I apologize. Should I get the GH5S with the Villdrock speed booster and the Sigma 18-35, or a different camera with the 18-35? Depends on what you need for your camera. The beauty with that 18-35, if you get the Canon mount, it'll work great with Sony, with Canon, with Panasonic. It's great, but try to get the Canon mount is what I would go for. And the Viltrox is $200, so if you're gonna get the GH5, that's a safe bet. Lots of beer break, yeah. A7S announcing in September. Okay. Are you still excited about new gear, or does the similarity these days get a bit dull as a YouTube camera? Filming guy? I still get excited. Do I get less excited? That's a good question. I think my excitement shifts. So when I first got started, it was all cameras. A new camera was like just completely mind-blowing. These days, there's so many of them coming out. I'm still excited, but I just don't have that like crazy butterfly excitement I used to have when I first got started. But back then, when a new camera came out that had a big sensor, it was a big deal. I get excited about lights and about lenses, about the possibility of how the gear can really, really help with content creation. So it's a little different, but lights I still get giggly with lights. Quick water break. Mic you have on screen right now. This is the Deity. I need to do a video on this live stream setup, because apparently I haven't done enough content on the setup. Can you trust the GH5 camera monitor to focus? Yes, you totally can. Plenty sharp enough. Scrolling down. What about anamorphic lenses? Quite interested in that. For example, Atlas, SLR. SLR Magic is the best budget option. Atlas would be great, but that's going to be hella expensive. You're the man, bro, from Summon Sun. Thank you very much. Caleb, would you consider doing a video on your live stream setup with your Sony? I have. I've done a A7 III live stream. I don't remember which one, but it worked great. Autofocus was good. What are your thoughts on the overuse of slow motion footage by social media filmmakers? Love your channel. You've taught me like everything. Thanks, Scott. It's used a lot. What I'm getting tired of is not as much slow motion, but it's the ramping and the slow motion. You know, Peter McKinnon and those guys started it. Not saying that they shouldn't have. They're doing their thing, and that's great. But now the entire, like, all of YouTube in our space is all 120p ramps. It's just like ramp, ramp, close-up shot, ramp, and everything's just kind of like moving to the side. Hopefully, you know, people will learn to just mix it up and do their own thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll eventually get slower, or get do like 1 frame a second just to mix it up. Sony and Panasonic are killing it otherwise. Yeah. Yeah. Autofocus. Yeah, really, man, if Sony, and I know Sony's working on it, and I think Panasonic it is too. I think they're both really pushing color. They're trying to get that close. If they can get that, and so if Canon doesn't giddy up, then they're going to really have some problems. Love the channel. Thanks so much for all the help. Thank you, AR, for your comment, for watching. All right, Mark James HQ, drop in the £5 donation. What's the equivalent focal length when using the speed booster and Sigma 18 to 55? I would imagine you mean 18 to 35. Looks like AR hooked me up with the answer, which is 25 to 50. Usually I don't think of it like that. Usually focal lengths are focal lengths. So it's still an 18 to 35. It's just you're seeing more in the frame. But equivalent, like you were saying, equivalent focal length, that sounds about right. 25 to 50. Yeah, just essentially, what camera are you talking about? If you're talking about the GH5, yeah, that sounds about right. 25 to 50. Do you have any recommendations for recording a run and gun narration? I'm thinking maybe some kind of wireless lav. That could work. If you're going to be behind the camera, I've done a video where you point the shotgun backward. That works well. Welcome, Baron Collins Hill, new sponsor. Thank you for joining me, good sir. Check the community tab in a little bit after this stream, and we'll have our exclusive live stream. You can jump on. Good stuff. Good times. Do you ever get tired? Have you ever tried or owned Red? I've tried Red, never owned it, though. Great cameras. Can you be a millionaire on YouTube? Question mark. I think so. I'm not one, but I'm sure there's plenty of millionaires here on YouTube. Any update on the A7 III guide will be out as soon as I can get it done. Waiting on a couple things to finish it up, but it's coming together. Right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap this one up. Sponsors, live stream for sponsors will begin after this. Check the community tab. I'm going to maybe in 5 minutes get that set up and the link going. For everyone else, thank you so much for joining me. This was a good one. Just kicking it back and really having a good time with y'all. New video definitely next Tuesday, and it's going to be more tutorial and a really interesting technique. All you need is a camera, and you can do this crazy technique that's awesome. So make sure you stay tuned for that. It's going to be a good time. Thank you guys so much for watching. For all those who watched and were supporting the video from yesterday, I really appreciate it. That one's doing a little better than of late my other videos. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll catch you next week for another live stream and another video.